yeah, as you saw in the thumbnail, I did get a little bamboozled on this sled, and I'll explain in a minute. So this thing is super clean. It's a 2003 Summit 151. It's a high mark, and it's a 800 HO. This thing is a monster. Now, it's super clean, don't get me wrong. That being said, it is a 2003. It's 20 plus years old. There is little minute issues and problems, but overall, this thing is immaculate. Like, the windshield, yeah, a couple little light scratches. It has the mirrors, there's no cracks. Has a little bit of rub there from the hood going up and down. You know, it's 20 years old. A little tiny scratch right there. There's no cracking. The tub here, like, look at this. You know, a little bit of branch scratches, but I mean, nothing crazy. There's no bends. The skis are in decent shape. This one on this side has a little tiny hole right there. Other than that, I mean, there's the other side. Seat, no rips, still flexible, looks brand new. So this is a spring order sled, which I believe high marks were. They came with a different color and a couple accessories. So this one came with a little bag for this little back carrying, you know, area. It's pretty neat. You can see it's a little faded, you know, it's old. It, look at this, no major dents in the bumper. You know, it has some rubbing and whatever, you know, but taillight's not cracked. And then also it has this. That's closed. So it is heavy. They're kind of notorious for. Engine is super clean. It has a tour body, which is full, and I'll explain that in a second. So this was a add-on, and usually spring order sleds came with it. It was kind of like a third-party dealer, like, throw-on, I guess. A lot of sleds don't really have these. The more common ones are for like revs, and they kind of sit in the back. This one here sits right above your clutches, which is good. And so if your belt goes, you know you got a bomb. You know, it's pretty clean. And so this is vacuum, and what happens is you fill this up, you can fill your tank, and as your tank goes down, it extracts vacuum-wise into your main tank. So this will run out first, and then your main tank will eventually start going down, which is really cool. So it doesn't involve any like pumping or anything like that. It's all automatic, which is pretty neat. All the lines are here. If this one's getting a little hard, but all the other ones are still pretty soft. So I'll just get to why. I wouldn't say I got scammed, but the seller wasn't honest with me. And I could show a screenshot. I'm gonna blur the name. It's not worth saying like who he is and stuff. I'm not gonna degrade him like that. But I think he knew what he was doing. He did say this is a one owner. His family bought it new, but he was nice, but he was a little quiet. He wouldn't tell me a whole bunch of details. It didn't have paperwork, like original, like if they had like owner's manuals and stuff. I don't know what they had back then. I asked him like the history, like, was it your sled when you were a kid? Was it your uncle's or dad's? And he was like, I don't really remember. I've just had it forever. And so it was kind of bleak. So I don't know if I fully believe it, that is one owner sled. And also he had it set to kilometers. So when I messaged him, I said, how many miles? He said 1,600. When I got there, it's my fault. You know, I'm the buyer, buyers beware. I just saw it. I saw the first number, which was 1, and I didn't even see the kilometers or anything like that. I was so excited just going through everything else. It ran, everything, you know, drove it right up on the trailer. Runs good. It was set to kilometers, and as I like dove more into it as I got back, it was at 10,000 kilometers, which usually is around 6,000 plus miles. So I'll show you what happened. It could have been set to kilometers all its life. But look in here, this is the wire harness. Look at how clean it is under the hood, by the way. And you can see there's electrical tape here. And it looks like someone popped out. There's this little switch here on each side. I think the other ones, let's see, there it is. It's right there. Oh, getting a call. Sorry, I'm back. All right, so you can see there's a little bit of electrical tape here. That means I think someone's been in here, and if you connect these two wires together, it switches your dash to kilometers. If you unplug them, it goes back to miles per hour. It's just a Skidoo thing from back in the day. Yeah, that's about it. So I unplugged it. It has 6,000 miles, not 1,600. So he was wrong about that. That being said, I'm not mad. It's still a super clean sled. It has higher mileage, but I mean, look at it. I mean, it's like, it's super clean. Like, I don't understand it. Like, for something with 6,000 miles, like my XCR over there has 1,000 miles on it. I just hit 1,000 on it because I've been riding the ever-living bamboozles out of it. And it's so much more dirty than this. So I have taken this for a few rides. We've done, I don't know, 80 miles on it so far, and there is a problem it's having. I don't know if it's a common problem or if it's just what it is, but we're gonna see if we can try to diagnose it, and I'll tell you what it's doing. All right, I'm back. It's been a day. Right after that last shot, you just saw my buddy Eric. You've seen him on a few older videos if any of you OGs watching the channel. He got a new to him 03 2-up Polaris, and just needed a whole bunch of little tiny things like greasing and checking over, like draining the chain case oil, stuff like that. So we took the Summit off, did that, but we're back, and I don't even know what I was saying. So yeah, pretty much moral of the story is, yeah, it has higher mileage. Unfortunately, the guy told me it was lower. Told me 1,600. It has 6,000. Actually, a little. It's like 6,800, I think. We'll recheck when we start it back up. But a big thing is honestly just like, look at your gauge clusters. I know it's exciting buying a sled, especially something that's super clean. You've been wanting something like this. You've been eyeing something. You finally get enough money or to pick something up, and you just get caught up in the moment. Try to stay cordial and, you know, check things over. You know, you don't have to go over everything. You know, buying a new sled has, an older sled specifically, has its ups and downs. You know, you're going to have to expect certain things to be bad. But just keep an eye out on stuff like that so you can, you know, confront or talk about it while you're there, and maybe you can get a little bit lower of a price. Luckily, I got him lowered down from what he wanted. So I'm happy with what I have. It runs good. So now let's get let's stop talking about that. Let's get on to the problems here. So like I said, we took it for a ride, and this thing guzzles fuel. And it is an old school 800. I know that. And they guzzle fuel regardless. And this one specifically is an R2, which I've been doing some research. I don't know if just the 800 HOs are the R, or if they had an 800 HO and then an 800 HO R. But either way, this is the big boy motor. I think they said online 151 horsepower, which is crazy for 03. Skidoo did come out with just a regular 800 too, but on the Summits and stuff like that, they put the higher horsepower engine. So what are we gonna do? Well, we got a few goodies here. We got a really good goodie at the bottom. I'll show you. And then I promise we'll start working them. Sorry I'm yapping too much. I like to yap on this channel. That's what I do. We got a new fuel pump. So the fuel pump on this one seems like it works great. Thing starts up, runs great, but doing some research, kind of throwing parts cannon at this thing. We're trying to figure out fuel consumption, and looking it up, allegedly diaphragms can go bad in fuel pumps that allow fuel to backtrack back into the crankcase. I don't see a lot of signs of like maybe stuff dripping out the exhaust or anything like that. There is a little bit of gook down there from a little bit of like blowing out or like on the, but I mean, it's an older two-stroke. It just happens. So regardless, this was pretty cheap to just an SP1 or an SPI or whatever fuel pump. Nothing fancy. We're going to keep the original one just in case, but we're just going to swap this out. We're already going to be diving into it. In this package here is gaskets for the exhaust valves. So I did take this cap off on each one, and just once you take it off, you can just pull the valve a little bit, and it should just go kind of back in its place nice and I'll do it when we take the caps off. I'll show you, but you just want to make sure they're not stuck. But it is good maintenance to take out the valves completely and clean them. So that's what we're going to do as well. I don't think that affects fuel economy, but you know, any little bit helps. If we can gain 1 miles per gallon with this thing. So this is the big one. Oh yeah, not sponsored. I wished I was. These were pretty pricey. They were at $280, but look at these. I've never been so excited to see a piece of plastic with flaps on it in my life. Look at those. Brand new boots too, which is nice. Oh, man. Comes with all the hardware. Stickers, which is what I originally wanted, was just stickers. You gotta have the stickers. So yeah, we're gonna see how these reads are, because bad reads can affect fuel economy too. But first things first, let's get going here. Let's start taking stuff off. We are gonna dive into carbs too real quick and make sure like none of the needles and seats are stuck, or like the floats, or make sure they're adjusted properly to make sure it's not seeping in a little bit extra. But let me start this up too for you real quick. Let's do it before and after. See if anything changes. I mean, might as well before we take anything apart. These hoods are heavy. I always put the parking brake on ever since my phaser decided to run itself off the table. I don't want to run it too much because it smokes like crazy when it's been. That's another thing too. ADHD's going crazy, sorry. When it's been sitting, starting it up before it warms up, it really smokes, like really smokes. I don't know if it's just what it does, or maybe that's a read thing. It's just allowing that's the thing, you know, like once it warms up, it doesn't smoke as bad, but it definitely smokes like crazy. And like I said, I know it's a 2-stroke, they're supposed to smoke, but I mean, it really will smoke you out of the trailer. And I usually figure that's just something if it sits for like over the summer and you do like a pre-startup, you know, pre-winter startup, and then it really smokes, but like this one does it every time. I mean, like, smoke is good, I get it, but too much smoke, I feel like maybe it's burning, even though I know it's a separate like oil pump and like separate, it's not like in the gas tank itself where like but I feel like maybe the computer thinks like something's open or it's getting too much fuel. That could be another thing too. The computer could be just set on something where it's like, well, no, higher elevation would be less fuel. I don't know, I'm yapping now. Let's get going here. So there's just a little latch here, normal kind of Skidoo stuff. I just got to try to, it's full. Okay. Place our tour buddy right there on the seat. Just if I can place it on something a little softer. Okay. So next, we're going to get this air box off. So there's a little guy we pop off there. It's just a clip. And then there's another plug right here. This should pull off. That's your computer. Does some wizardry. Okay, and then we just got to unscrew it. The other one's back there hidden. Now allegedly this, I mean, I've had this airbox off before once. But allegedly the sled's never been taken apart, and it looks like original like factory stuff, but I don't know. It's like for a higher mileage sled, this thing is like surprisingly clean, like incredibly clean. All right, I'm gonna put you guys down because I need to. Okay, behind we got our carbs here, which we gotta undo. So we got our, looks like our choke and our throttle. Looks like we just take those bottom nuts out, loosen those up, take them up, they slide out. And we're gonna go in here too. We're not gonna do anything crazy. We're just gonna go into the float bowls and just make sure the floats are good and the needle and seats doing their thing just while we're here. And then underneath them is the fuel pump. So let me loosen up those and see if I can get these guys out of here. And then our reeds are right here. So we're gonna replace all that. Well, these are in pretty good shape too. Okay, I got these lines off. There's one more that goes to the fuel pump. And then there's this line here. So these are, if you look, they say heated. So there's a little valve here you can open and close. This one was actually stuck. It's been on closed for a while, which usually you want to leave it. But this is for to heat the carbs up. I guess if it's warmer out, I think I was seeing online, like 35 degrees or so, these can ice up a little bit or cause some, so you could turn this on and it allows coolant to pass through and heat the carbs up. And with some wizardry and magic, it makes it run better. I don't know exactly the whole thing of that. I never put those on. but, or I never turned it on, but yeah, it does something. So we're gonna loosen that up. And loosen up the other side. Fuel hose in the center, which is right there, which I just gotta get off. And then, yeah, this should be pretty close to being good. Okay, carbs are out. You can see the fuel pump down there. We'll, when we get the reeds off, we'll change that out. Coolant hoses, this one's getting a little rough, but they're all right. I'm going to reuse them. Like I said, never really use this. The carbs themselves, a big thing is when you take these off, this plastic T is where the fuel goes in. These can break. So if your line's stuck, what I usually do is take a little set of needle nose, don't put any pressure, I just kind of turn the fuel line just so I can get it loose on there. And this one was flexible enough where I can just, with a little bit of pressure, I popped it right off. But if it's really stuck on there, just cut your line, put a new line in, and then just slowly take a razor blade or something and get that line off. If you break this, you got to take these whole things apart, and this is a rack carb, so it's tied in together. It just turns into a whole big thing, so just be careful with that. Really be very careful. I've seen those break all the time, and guys are screwed after that. So now that we got those out of the way-ish enough, fuel pump definitely was pumping fuel. We can now get these reeds out. I am very curious to see what these things look like. And once we get these out too, it'll free us a little more room to get to that fuel pump, which will be good to replace. Update time. I forgot to turn the camera on. My buddy came by real quick, and we were talking while I was working on this fuel pump. You didn't miss much, honestly. All I did was undo this line, a gusher of gas came out, but I was prepared. I quickly did the swapperoo, and I'm ready just to put this one back in its place. I just want to vacuum. There's just a couple little like seeds. This is the old fuel pump right here. It actually is in pretty good shape, so I don't think this was the issue for like gas going into the crankcase. I guess maybe the diaphragm can rip, and the pressure here can well, because it pulses, I guess maybe some gas can return. But we're going to save this guy as I leak it everywhere. I'll throw them in my parts pile just in case if we ever need them again. But yeah, we'll throw this new guy back in. Not going to hurt at all having this one in. And yeah, it's actually going to be pretty good. So yeah, I just undid these lines. All these lines came out pretty good. Now that that's done, I want to get that out of the way. We can put the reeds back in and get those ready to go, and then we'll dive into these carbs here together. We're not going to go full on cleaning. I don't think these are going to need a full on cleaning. I just want to open up these floats and these bowls per se, and just see how it looks, make sure the needle looks good and everything like that, make sure it's not slipping a little bit of fuel through the needle. And then oh, I did notice too, these were held on by a thread here, so maybe some fuel was getting in between. That's what I'm guessing. This one also, look, it's cracked. See it on the right side? You can actually see through it. That's not supposed to be like that, so that'll do it. This one's in better shape, but this one was barely hanging on. I put it down and it just bloop. So yeah, these actually were bad, so I'm actually glad we're doing that, and that could definitely cause fuel to go through. So I'm actually feeling a little better about that. I'm surprised I didn't catch it earlier, but it's all right. So yeah, yeah, we'll get all that buttoned up, get all that cleaned up, and then we'll work on exhaust, and then yeah, let's keep going. So I got the next one here. There's a little gasket. Honestly, I don't know if one side needs to go which way. I'm just putting the blue side because I want to against the motor. I feel like that would, I don't know, I just feel like that is the way it should be. These car boots too, I'll show you, have, I'll show you right here. So there's a little like tube coming out of it or whatever to accommodate a boost bottle. If you had a boost bottle, you would have to cut them out though. They come pre-cut out, or they come out, I can't talk. They come where it's sealed. So just be wary of that you see that. For a second when I ordered these, I was like, crap, I ordered the wrong carb boots because I don't have a boost bottle. But no, that's the case, and it's like that for probably most all of them, honestly. I don't know what they're supposed to be. Torque to. I'm just going just nice and snug. All right, guys, diving into the Skidoo carbs. Now these are Makunis, actually. So first off, there's little screws right here. I don't know why they're here, but oh boy. I guess a lot of guys take these out and just leave them out because they really don't do anything, but if we can get them enough without damaging them, I'll just put them back in. Yes. Oh, I got it. I thought we were gonna have to drill it. I might do the same thing everybody else does and just leave them out. Okay. Next is these two big bolt deal, which I believe is a 17. Yep. Oh man. We got our main jets here, our floats, and we have a little pilot jets down there. You can see, so we're gonna get our main jets off and take a look at those. 6 millimeter fits pretty good on those. Take these out, take a look. Yep. That one looks good, no debris in it. That one looks good, no debris in it. And then there should be little washers, which we'll pick out. Okay, looks like they're going to want to stay in. That's fine. No big deal. Okay, now we have two little pilot jets, little small ones that control our idle. We got to put some pressure down on those. It's just like any other carb. Theoretically, it should slide out. Pilot jets look like they might be a little clogged up. So we'll throw those and clean those up too. We got our floats. Those actually look really good. Okay. Let's go clean those bits up. So if you look here, I know it's hard to see on camera and it's nighttime, but no, looks like it's a little clogged up. So we're gonna clean that guy up. We're gonna clean that guy up, and our main jets here, you can see right through those. Pretty big jets. 430, and sometimes one side's different, but this side's, they're both 430. All right, I'm gonna just clean these up real quick, and then I'll be right back. All right. You might, it's kind of hard to tell, but you could definitely see a lot better out of those. So they didn't need much, but definitely good we blew those out. These are both the same size, so it doesn't matter which side they go in. But like I said, if some sleds, some jets are different size on each side, so just pay attention to that. There's little numbers on them. Okay, that's in. Nice and snug. Nice and snug. Take our mains. Those guys back in. And I'm going to check online to make sure these are the proper mains. I don't see why they wouldn't be size-wise. Don't reef on them. Nice and snug. I've done it before on a older sled of mine. I think I sold it by now. It was an old Indy. I was putting the main jets on, tightened it, went a little too much, and bloop, twisted it right off. Completely ruined that. So I had to wait to had to try to drill them out, and then try to get new jets. But I think I screwed up the carb too. I think I completely twisted the threads, so had to get new carbs. That was fun. All right, it's time to throw these carbs back in. All right, airbox is back in. We're all tied down, nice and secure. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to do my throttle cables. I might be able to get to them with the airbox on. All right, stand by. All right, they're hooked back up. I'll put the airbags back in, then we'll move on to the valves. We'll start her up real quick too. I'm curious to see what it sounds like. Really, the only thing I wish I did was put a little blue Loctite on these bolts here. But we're already in. We're done. We'll run it for a little bit. I'll take it for a test drive. I'll bring it back in, and I'll recheck them, make sure, see if they're backing out or not. And yeah, I think they'll be all right. The old ones weren't Loctited, so. All right, let's put this airbox in. Give her a fire. All right, I'm just going to lower this down a little bit. time for a new hose soon. I just want to lower it down so I have a little better control pulling it. I know the carbs are just empty and stuff, so it's going to take a couple times for it to do its thing. Let's keep going here and see if we can get it to go. Make sure everything else is good. She's like super crisp, which is good. It's idling low, which means it's not getting any air, so I don't think there's any leaks at the carb boots or anything like that. Good. Well, I didn't want it to warm up too much because I want to get to these exhaust valves. So let's raise this back up a little bit and get those cleaned since we have the gaskets for them. And chain case actually looks fine. Big issues there, so I don't think we need to change that out right now. It's full and it's not super black. So that's good. And then, yeah, I think we're doing good here. Okay, in here we should have gaskets. I just want to check to make sure we're good before. So I always put my tools away. I have a kind of a thing I do. After I finish a certain, even if I'm working on the same project, after I finish a certain task, all completed, and I start going on something else, I put everything away. And if I need it again, I'll pull it back out when it's time. It just makes it easier for me to keep things organized. And yeah, so I don't know. I didn't really need to tell you that, but if you see there's like scenes where there's tools everywhere, then all of a sudden sees everything's cleaned up, but I'm still working, that's why. So these are your exhaust valves. What I do know though is underneath these covers, like I said, I had these off the other day, just the covers. I haven't took them completely apart. But you got to be careful because right underneath here, if you hold on to it, there's a spring. So if you're testing exhaust valves, you just grab this and just see if it let go and see if it just smoothly, see that? It's nice and smooth. Goes back in its spot. If it's stuck, a lot of them are stuck, you have a problem, or if it's like you have to force it. So you just pull up till it not really bottoms out in a way, and then just let it go and see how it goes down. So these really aren't that bad, but I'm just curious to see what it looks like underneath. So we're gonna take them apart anyways and see. Okay, I'm here. Got it off that rubber O-ring shot. I'm hoping there's no coolant going in here. I don't really, I mean, like, it's a little milky-ish, but also it's kind of just regular oily-ish. I don't think there is. There's no, I checked the coolant there, there's no contaminants in there. Like I said, we just had it running, so we're just going to have a little bit of... But let's take the other side off and take a look to see what that side looks like. Okay, clean this right up. I got to clean this surface area still, but there we go. Not bad. A little oily still down there, but it'll be all right. What I'm thinking, there's a lot of oil coming out. You can see they're all over. I got to clean all these up. The O-rings were a little shot. They're a little dried up. Allowing oil to pass by through, but I think having the new reeds are definitely going to make a big difference. So, okay, let me clean up the other side, clean up these surface areas, and get everything kind of rebuilt. All right, so I got these all cleaned up. I got one side on already. This side's good, moving freely. That side was the same way. Throw that cover back on, start her back up, and yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. Chain case looks fine. I'm not gonna change that out right now. And yeah, I like these easier-ish ones. Definitely an upgrade with those V-Force reeds. I'm pretty excited about that. We are going to be going for a ride, and I'm going to try to attach my GoPro to my helmet. I got a fancy Amazon mount. So yeah, we're going to take you guys with me. I don't know where we're going to go. We're going to go for a ride. I know I want to do a trip. I'm either going to do it on this sled or another one. We have bob houses out on Meredith Bay on Winnipesaukee. And I want to take you guys out there, show you that, and just see what's going on. So yeah, let's throw this back together and start her up. Seems like it runs pretty good. Hey guys, it's been a few days and I got a little bit of an update here. We're actually getting ready to just go for a ride, and I'm gonna bring you guys along with me. I know I said a few minutes ago probably to you guys that we're gonna go out to the Bob House and show you that. Well, I have something different planned today. We're actually gonna go see the sled dog tournament that happens every year in Laconia. And I figured that'd be a lot of fun. We will see the Bob House. I don't know if it's gonna be this video, probably not. It might be a future video, or if not, it'll probably be next year. I'm not sure yet. We will get out there eventually. But I figured going to see the sled dogs, we're meeting up with a few buddies, and seeing the dogs run by would be a lot of fun for you guys. So on this sled, so we did end up taking it for a ride off camera. I went with a few buddies doing kind of an initial test down after we did all the reeds. It was drink and fuel even worse. And I brought it back, looked into it, and the fuel line was leaking, and the brand new fuel pump that we put in was leaking as well. So I replaced the fuel line, I replaced the fuel pump, and let it run with the airbox off, checked it all over. I don't see any active leaks now, so we're gonna retry it. I also replaced, this is a DPM, this little valve guy right here, and that pretty much controls, it senses elevation and it enriches your carburetors through vacuum and science. And those can also go bad and cause your carburetors to run really rich, also causing fuel mileage problems, but not as crazy as you would think. After riding, we pulled the plugs. They look beautiful, so it isn't running super rich. So I think that was working. I did order another one off eBay, tested it. It did work. I just put 12 volt to it and heard it click. I do have in the back here the original one that does click as well. So I don't think that was the issue, but it also doesn't move that much. There's like a little plunger inside, and it was only moving like minimally, which that might be the way they are, but I don't know. So I put this one on because I already ordered it. It was just came in, so might as well. It's not going to hurt. If something goes wrong, we have the other one. So yeah, let's fire this thing up, go get gas. I'm going to have you guys on the helmet, and hopefully the video turns out good, and we're going to go do a little ride and go see some sled dogs. Trails are great. It looks like we might get a high 40s next week and some rain. It's the 21st or 2nd at the time of this video. So trails have been great. Sorry I haven't been recording much like I said I was going to. I've just been too busy riding. It's been a few years since we've actually had decent riding conditions. So, all right, let's get going. Let's fire this thing up. I'm just checking out, seeing if you can hear me all right. It might be a little muffled in the helmet, but looks like you can see fine. I'm not going to be talking the whole time anyways. So yeah, let's get going. Hopefully this guy doesn't fall off. We'll see. Filled up, and I also found out this pack holds a 6-pack and a Gatorade perfect. Alright, let's go. Woo!
Thank you, everybody!
Almost there.
Thank you!
Yeah.
Shut up, nice and strong. We'll get it.
Yeah. Woo!
Finish it up.
Woo! He's cruising. Well, I hope you guys can hear me, but as you just saw, we just had quite a few sled dogs go through. Ended up having to help out work it. Pretty much keeping them in each lane, you know, so they don't take a right or left. We are still drinking fuel like crazy. I filled up at Hafner's in Guilford, and I only went a few miles, and we're already at half a tank. So we're going to try to make it back to Hafner's to fill back up. We'll see where we're at, and we're going to have to put this thing back up on the chopping block and see if where else fuel's going. But maybe she's just a gas guzzler. I don't know, but actually out on the lake right now. There's a buoy. So that's an island right there. I believe that's Big Island. I think it's Little Island and Big Island. We're on Paugus Bay right now. You can see you got Belknap Mountain out there in the distance. Pretty cool, huh? We're between half and a quarter, so I think we're doing okay at the moment on fuel. I'm debating on just rocketing it back home. I really don't want to go out of the way to fill up if I don't need to. So yeah, we'll see where we're at by the time we get to that intersection. We got another probably 15 minutes. I'm trying to record the more entertaining stuff for you guys, so you're not just seeing me on the trail the whole time. And hopefully you guys are at a good angle too. If you keep seeing me kind of go like that, I'm sorry. I'm just checking to see if my GoPro is still on the side of the helmet. It's kind of a little bit of a janky setup. Yeah. So far, so good. Let's keep going. Well, we made it. We're around between quarter and empty, so we got to that intersection. I was right at a quarter, so I knew I'd probably make it back. Yeah, she runs good. It just drinks fuel really bad. So we'll keep figuring it out. I'm gonna end it for this episode. It's going on quite a bit, and we got a lot of riding footage and sled dog footage. And but I love riding that sled. I mean, it rides nicer than the XCR does, handling bumps. I mean, it's 10 years newer, but I know it's a big 800 HO. I get it. I know they're not gas sippers by any means, but I should be at least getting 8 to 10 miles a gallon, not 4 or 3 or 4 like I'm getting right now. We didn't go far today. We probably did 10 miles total. I should only be, if I was half, not even, if I was 3/4 of, like, if I was 3/4 of a tank right now, I'd be happy. I'd be, you know, filled up, ran around, went about 3/4. But theoretically, I still should even be between 3/4 and full with what we just did today. So something's going on. I just got to figure it out. So, all right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, it was a good day overall. All right. Hope to see you very soon.